Hey, yeah, what's up? This disciple Marshall Occurrence reign back up in this anti-Illuminati all day, anti-America all day. So, so this message is going to be about the messages, the TV shows and things, the movies and things that people have on when they're having sex in America. Yeah, we talking about all these people that's talking about pedophiles and running around here talking about this and that and the third. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna get you good and tight for prosecution. Okay. Half of these people around here, I'm pretty sure, are having sex with kid stuff on TV. They ain't turning the channel when commercials come on with kids in it while they having sex. They keep having sex because most people are not that disciplined enough to stop a sex act to turn the TV. That's the reason why that's a 7 hour. They ain't gonna turn the TV because kids is on the channel because they don't want to break up the sex act. But when you're really pure, you're going to break up the sex act. Many of you watch shows, and while you're watching the show on TV, you get into having sex. You don't consider that while you're in the sex act, there's going to be kids popping up on the TV. You don't consider that there's going to be teenage girls that you know are not 18 all throughout the movies while you're watching this, while you watching it, while you having sex. And if you're not watching the TV visually, you're gonna hear kids all throughout the video, all throughout the movie, all throughout the TV show, all throughout whatever's on TV. And some of y'all need to think about them old school R&B songs you be listening to. You know, that have kids in it, and you having sex to that. Candy Rain. I'm pretty sure half of these people don't have sex to Candy Rain. And what's that? The kissing game. The guy saying the kissing game. I forget his name right now. I can't think of it. I love it when we playing the kissing game. You having sex to that too. Now he was a kid at the time. Okay. So you having sex to all of this stuff and you're not considering it's a kid's vibration. Right? You're not considering that. And I'm pretty sure half of y'all listen to these songs and this music and watch these movies and watch these shows and all of this. And and you know that it's all contradicting of an adult atmosphere. Okay? It's contradiction of an adult atmosphere. And you can sit up here and act like, oh, well, I'm not having sex with kids, but you still have child vibration in the atmosphere. You still have children voices in the atmosphere. Now, your children is a different thing. Now, if you got young children, they don't know what's going on. But even once children know what's going on, it's time to close the door. It's time to close the door. Okay? Once they know what's going on, it's time to close the door, buddy. They can't be around no more. They get banished from paradise. But while they're young and you know for a fact they don't know what you're doing and they don't have no idea what's going on, then that's different because there's purity there. There's innocence that's blind that's there. And so that's a different situation. But once their eyes are open and they know what it is and they've been around other kids talking about it, they get banished from paradise. You can't have them around while you're having sex. Okay? And So this is the highest levels of purity. This is for all you Americans that think you're so pure. Now check yourself. Now watch how many times you watch movies. All you people that's talking about pedophiles and stuff. Now check yourself. How many times you have watched movies? Tevin Campbell, that's his name. You be listening. You know you listen to that Tevin Campbell Kissing Game song. Tevin Campbell, Candy Rain, by the children, the Candy Rain. You know that Candy Rain song. When the R&B come on the TV, on the radio at night, you think you're going to get up and change this TV song because Tevin Campbell come on. Now, Tevin Campbell wasn't 18 when that song came out. I don't think so. Candy Rain, the kids that sang Candy Rain, I know they wasn't 18. And you're going to keep going, and the enemy can come in and be subtle in your thought process while you're having sex. Now, be 100 with yourself. You're a human. And if you hear the children or see children visibly, there's a blur. There comes interference, a child interference, and it can mix in a blur with your sexuality. Boom. Ow. See, you thought you was pure. I'm going to show you what it is. I'm going to show you how Christians are really the OGs of purity. You want to play that game? We're going to show you what you've been doing and show you how impure you are. You need to see, because you think you're pure, but look at the stuff you entertain while you're having sex. Look at the stuff that be on TV that is not adult friendly. Now, see, the champions and the masters of war will have purity, have an adult-friendly movie on while they're having sex. If you have children movies on while you having sex, what does that say about your level of purity? Because I know that you hear it or you see it. If you don't see it, you hear it. Now, if you mute it, you still can visibly see it here and there while you're still in the sex act. You can catch an eye full of something while you're in a whole different sexual state of mind. So you shouldn't have adult stuff on while you're having sex. A child stuff on while you're having sex. And this separates the men from the boys and the girls from the women, because you'll sit up and try to ignore it and say it doesn't matter, but it does matter. It does matter, because there should be no child vibration in your atmosphere when you're having sex. Okay? Okay? So that's the difference between men and boys. Okay? You have stuff on and you act like you don't care. You got the Tevin Campbell songs on. You can't be disciplined enough to say, you know what? That's a child song. Let me get up. Even though I'm having sex right now, let me get up and change that, because that's messing up my groove. I don't want to be thinking about no children while I'm having sex. I don't want no children voices in my head while I'm having sex. Now, many of you have not even thought about that. You haven't even thought about that. Some of y'all just put on adult stuff, and that's how it is when you start having sex. But many people start having sex in the middle of a movie. It might be a comedy movie with kids in it, and you're pounding away. You don't set the atmosphere for your sexuality. You don't set the atmosphere for the sex acts. And setting the atmosphere for an adult sex acts include all adult content. No children content. That's a 7 hour boom hour. That's it right there. Setting the mood for sex is taking all children vibration, noise, sound, visuals out the atmosphere. Okay? Whether it's by TV, by cell phone, I don't care where it's at, even if it's in the other room. You hear something, you know you can hear it, and you can do something about it, go change that. Okay? And this is the real discipline that it takes. You might have left the TV on in the front room, and now it's all of a sudden it's on the, some of y'all might be drinking a little wine, and you just went into the other room, and now you hear in the other room that you left, some stuff that's going on, and you got to go change that. Okay? And this separates the men from the boys and the girls from the women. Okay? Because many of you, you act like not caring about that makes you pure. No, it doesn't. You think ignoring it makes you pure. No, it does not. Setting the atmosphere for all adult content makes you pure. Boom, ow, that's a 7. Not ignoring it or thinking that you can ignore it or thinking that you can have sex and tune it out, that makes you pure. No, it doesn't. What makes you pure is being pure enough to have adult content in the atmosphere while you having sex in the first place. And it ain't got nothing to do with you being tempted. It ain't got nothing to do with that being tempting or temptation to you. That's a 7. Ow, boom, ow. It has something to do with not allowing your sexuality to be entangled with child content, with having children stuff in the atmosphere. Do you want children stampering in your room while you're having sex? So then you have to look at that also by TV and by way of phone and radio and all of that. You don't want no children in the atmosphere while you're having sex. That's true purity. That's true purity. And obviously, well, I shouldn't have to tell you this, but you shouldn't have nothing on your mind about children while you're having sex either. You shouldn't have nothing on your mind about sex, of children. If you got children, you shouldn't be thinking about them. You should put it out your mind while you're having sex. You shouldn't be talking about it. You shouldn't be talking about no children or nothing and what you got to do with children. Nope. You shouldn't be thinking about none of that. Okay? So this is what real purity is. This is what real purity is. Okay? And so you can any time now, these Americans can stop thinking that you're going to beat Christians in purity. We not sterile, but we're too thorough when it comes to it. Things that you might not have paid attention to because your walk with God isn't really official. You feel me? Like we already on top of that. Like we've been on top of that for years. Like setting our atmospheres, like going to certain places and not going to certain places, abstaining from certain places. You can't be serious thinking you can go tit for tat with Christians as far as purity. You know what I'm saying? Because I know for a fact that half of these Americans do not care about what's on TV when they're having sex. They get drunk and whatever's on, they're not really thinking about it per se, but then it can overwhelm the atmosphere, like children stampering around or something like that. And then if the TV's the only thing that's on, then it's going to catch your eye, because if it's the only thing that's on. And you're lying to yourself if the TV doesn't catch your eye. You're lying to yourself if you don't hear the TV doesn't perk your ears up while you're having sex. So the best thing to do so that you don't have any kind of impure moments, right? Where it's almost pedophile moments, to avoid those things, right? You have adult content in the atmosphere. See, so I'm showing you police what's the difference? Because I know you the same way. You got all kind of stuff, gadgets and everything at your house. I'm pretty sure you got gadgets there. and you don't worry about what's on TV either. You turn something on, you turn things on. You probably got country songs on where country little girls and country little boys singing songs. and they're not 18. And you don't think it matters. And it does matter. This is the higher levels of purity. While you think you're checking me, check yourself. You know what I'm saying? My level of purity is on this level. So half of y'all got to leave the room. Because if you're real with yourself, You know you've been having all kind of stuff on TV, and this is something that you didn't even care about. To the extreme, you might have cared about it, where it was an extremely child channel or something. But you have not cared if it was kind of like a couple adults in a movie, that you recognize, and then it's kind of like an adult themed movie, but it has children in it. You'll let that slide. You will let it slide if it's an adult movie, basically adult friendly movie, but it has children in it. You will let that slide. See, but a real spiritual person will not let that slide, because at some point that's going to pop up while you're having sex. At some point that's going to pop up in your ears or by your eyes while you're having sex. So it shows this shows what level of purity I'm on, just in case you don't know. Now you know. Okay? And it separates the men from the boys. Many of you, like I said, do not care about this. So you can't even act like, oh, I'm just some stand-up family man guy. But then when you go in your room, you got kids all on TV while you plowing through your wife. Okay? And for many people that have children, it's not an excuse. You have to discipline the atmosphere. You have to bring discipline to the atmosphere when you're having sex. You can't just say, well, I got kids, so I just got to pull it out and just get to work. You can't be like that. You got to put them down. You got to, if it's daytime, you got to make sure they're entertained and they don't come knocking on the door for no reason. And you let the kids know that. You let the kids know, oh, okay, well, we're going to be, mom and daddy is going to be spending some time with each other. Don't nobody come to this door unless it's an emergency. Unless it's an emergency. If it is not an emergency, somebody going to get a whooping for coming to this door. That's what you got to do. It's that serious. Unless it's an emergency, don't y'all do nothing y'all supposed to be doing. Don't be trying to use knives or no kind of stuff. Don't be sneaking and doing something, because you get a whooping for that too. And that's how you do it. You know what I'm saying? And you put them out the atmosphere. They're not nowhere, and you give them something to entertain themselves. And you put on your little music. If they yelling around, jumping, and you got kids that yell around all the time, then you need to put on some loud music. You need to put on something to drown it out, so that you have an adult atmosphere and that you're not slightly entertaining other thoughts or blurred thoughts with children in the blurred thoughts, okay, while you're having sex. So this is really the real disciplines. That's why I don't take nothing off no Americans, because you're the last person to challenge anybody's purity. You get me? You feel me? You got 43 states of child marriage. You're the last community that we can challenge anybody's purity. Don't you see that? You can't challenge mine. I dare somebody to pull up on me, man. And I always got my weapons. You understand? I always got a weapon. So just in case you think I'm at your mercy, you tripping. I always carry a weapon. I walk around anytime I want. That's all I got to say. Okay? That's for anybody that would think they can challenge me in my purity. That's real. But when it's all said and done, man, you're going to see how impure people are in your community. You're going to see. You're going to see how impure they really are, man. You know, how goofy they are. They're so goofy, man. You know what I'm saying? Can't you see how goofy Americans are to have 43 states of child marriage? Isn't that like some Yogi the Bear goofy stuff? I mean, let's be 100. It ain't no serious man. It ain't no serious grown and sexy stuff. It ain't grown and sexy. Hey, child marriage in 43 states ain't grown and sexy. That's a 7 owl. Hey, 43 states of child marriage is not grown and sexy. That part. Hey, the age of consent under 18 in 40 states is not grown and sexy. Passing your last child marriage law 3 years ago, a year before COVID, is not grown and sexy. These are goofy clowns. These are goofy fools. These are goofy fools. You can't be serious, think you yapping. You ain't yapping about nothing. Won't you go fix your country? I know you hate it, but it's the truth, and I got you. Okay? You're impure. I'm showing you what real purity looks like. Behind the threshold of real houses of purity, people don't even have child content at all. If it's children in movies, they're not going to have sex. They'll watch those movies and then have adult friendly movies. That's how you do that. But y'all not doing that. You don't have no reason to do it. Why are you doing it? Because you feel that you could ignore it. You could feel that you can ignore it and you can drown it out and ignore it. But that's not purity. Purity is setting the whole atmosphere before it even starts. Before you even start having sex. That's what real purity is. So my thing is, man, because you know you're slipping on that. Don't come around me judging me, man. You know what I'm saying? When I know you ain't on that level of purity. I know you're not. Because you're not following Christ. Okay? And I know that you haven't went to the higher levels, these higher levels of purity. Now you know what purity is really like. Okay? And but that's why judgment is going to come so hard on you, because all the judgment that you're projecting, it's got to come back on you. You know what I'm saying? This is what real purity. I do this to show real Christians how you should conduct your atmosphere in sex when you're having sex, and to defeat the rivals and the clowns, and show them how pure we really are behind our closed doors. That's 7 hour.